right. Hey everyone, whoever is showing up, just gonna wait till some people show up. At the same time, just gonna do some last minute stuff. All right. I'm gonna wait just for some people to come into the chat room at least. I wonder who has showed up so far. So far, just down to 0 right now. Okay, I got one person. I'll find out who it is as soon as possible. Oh, hey Nicole, what's up? Say, doing a spoiler review on Blackkklansman. If you want to come down and talk about the film, I'm going to leave you a link to the live stream. I mean, yeah, to go into come into the panel through your email. So let me get that. I was hoping to have some guests come over because I've been telling this one person who wants to be a part of this. I want to see if he still wants to be a part of this. First, let me go to the Google chat. So Nicole, I'm gonna give you and a couple other people. I don't know how long this is gonna take. Hopefully, not too long, because I've been trying to do this kind of stream. So now the thing is, have you seen Blackkklansman yet? Because I'm only going to let people in the panel who have seen the movie. That's going to be just a little stipulation to the to the the panel this time. I mean, hopefully, since it's been a few weeks, people have got the chance to see the movie. But if you haven't, that's the only actually seeing the movie, because this is a spoiler room. This is going to talk about what happened in the movie. Now, if you don't care about being spoiled, you're welcome. Also, also, however, so hopefully it don't take too long. Plus, I'm also waiting for more people to come in. But basically, as I'm going to talk about a lot of the scenes that happen in the movie. Yeah. I'm gonna see who else is in here now. I know I saw you, Victor TV. Um, and we're actually gonna do two links for people who are not in the chat room yet. There's an email. I might just send this email to anyone, even if they're in the chat room. Oh, and like I said, only people who have seen the movie can be on the panel this time. So hold on. I know this is taking a while, but have some patience, hopefully, and we can get things going. Some patience. All right. So far, 5 people watching. 2 have spoken in the chat room. That's well, actually 3. Good afternoon, Kazum Baker. Uh, all right. I've just sent an email. Nicole, you should be one of if you've seen the movie, you should be one of the people who I have just sent them the email to. So you can join. There's 2 links. I mean, you're already here in the chat room, so but here's I also sent a link to if you want to join in the panel as well and maybe have your say about the film. Dang, I should have sent that request to more people. All right, I'm just all right. So hopefully we can get some guests over. Let's see, we got 6 people now. Let's see if we can get a little bit more first before we move on. Let's see who's here. Sheila Furnace, welcome. Welcome, Sheila. As you should know, we're doing a spoiler review. Um, oh, Keesum Baker. Well, that's great. You will like the content of Nicole and even Victor. All right. All right. Let's see if we can get more people in before we get started. So far, we're down to 5 again, or wait, we went back to 6. Um, like I said, I'm also hoping I just sent some links to some people through email. I was wondering, has anyone in the chat room seen Blackkklansman, or because that's the only people that's going to be allowed in the chat room. This is so we can get talking points about the movie. Because once again, like I said, and I just even left the link in the chat room. But once again, this is a spoiler review. If you would like to speak, Nicole, just you got an email of the link, or you can come on in the chat room and link, and maybe we can get your point of view about the movie. I'm trying to see if I just gave Town Biz 2 emails and maybe a couple more, because I'm trying to get him, because he wanted to be a part of this live stream. And I just gave him a bunch of emails so far. And I just even told him in one of his live streams when I was in his chat room that I'm doing the stream tonight. I mean, maybe the notification didn't get to him yet. Hopefully he's some way I can contact him to try to, or maybe he uploaded a video just recently. Maybe if I can look at, let's see, maybe there's a way I can contact him right now, because it looked like he just uploading. Doing the black. I'm looking at one of Town Business's videos real quick. He just uploaded this one, so maybe he'll read my comment, and maybe he'll respond. All right, channel right now, and also click. All right, I just sent him something on one of his videos comment section. Oh yeah, it's good, Kasim. Yeah, I was asking Nicole if they all seen the movie. Yeah, you gotta hate when you don't get notifications. But like I said, Nicole, if you want to say something about the movie, you can. I put in the link to come on to the panel. Plus, I emailed it you if you come on. In other words, but meanwhile, I guess I might as well get started. Let me see how many people we got in real quick. We got 7 people. All right, that's great. See, I get most notifications with this main channel than my live stream channel, but I hope to change all that soon in the future. And the reason why I'm doing the movie review on my main channel instead of my live stream channel is because I do a lot of my movie reviews on my main channel if I do one. Oh, you haven't seen the movie yet? Oh, you haven't seen a movie since April? Okay, well, I'm going to warn you right now. This is a spoiler review, which means I'm going to tell exactly what happens in the movie, as well as anyone who decides to join in the panel, which means you're about to be spoiled. If you haven't seen the movie yet and you don't want to be spoiled, I advise you leave this stream. I don't care if I end up with less streamers, but if you don't want to be spoiled, you can leave if you want to. And, if you decide to go see the movie, go see the movie. It's actually a very good movie. And then you can come back in the replay. You may not be able to get into no panel then because it'll be just an old replay, but you'll at least not be spoiled. You can, you don't matter being spoiled? Okay. All right. So maybe you'll get a head start. But like I said, the chance to come in the chat room is open, but only to those who have seen the movie. All right. We got, Nicole, what's up? You can unmute yourself or I'll
How you doing?
Hey, what's up? We're doing another movie review.
Thank
I was
you.
hoping to get Town Business here because he wanted to be a part of this. But I've emailed him. I just clicked on the link in his comment section of one of his videos that I'm doing this. I've emailed lots of people. I mean, hopefully they'll get those emails. It might be, and I even told them what time I was going to do the thing. I even talked about when I was going to do it in a couple of my recent videos.
Mm-hmm. LVZ or Rottweiler or anybody in the chat may be interested as well.
Yeah, I've emailed them if they want to come in, but so far,
Okay.
I have no responses. I don't see them in the chat room. They may not have gotten the notification because there's a lot of people who are still having issues with getting my notifications, and it could be because YouTube is not giving everyone notifications because my channel is still small. I now am happy to say that I have now up to 360 something subscribers on my main channel and have almost 100 or at least 99 in my live stream channel and maybe like 74 in one of my backup channels. And then of course I have like 100 and something on my Black Junction TV and like up to 12 or 13 on my Black Spot channel. But we can always grow. But anyway, now let's get on to the movie. Of course, The Blackkklansman was a movie that starred John David Washington, and he plays Ron Starkworth. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you a couple of pictures as soon as so because it's pretty important we talk about this. All right, we're going to talk about Ron Starkworth first because he's the main character. And then we're going to talk about the actor who played him. Matter of fact, here's a good photo right here. I'm going to share my screen a bit. All right, here we go. The two men you see here are Ron Starkworth. Of course, the person on the left is the actor playing the character Ron Starkworth. The actor's name is John David Washington. He was recently on a couple episodes of the show Baller, so he's kind of new into the acting business. Not only that, he is the son of legendary actor Denzel Washington. For those of you who may or may not know, the man, and that's the man on the left. The man on the right is the real is an updated photo of the real Ron Starkworth. This is who the movie is based on. And looks like right here, if I can click onto it, it looks like it's another photo of probably a younger Ron Starkworth. See, this is him. And then on the left is basically him in his younger days, probably in his prime. So the reason why he is right now being talked about as of this summer is because, first, the movie, by the way, who's directed by the legendary Spike Lee. Matter of fact, the guy right here that I'm pointing at is Spike Lee, the director. And it's also produced by several people, Jordan Peele and Jason Blum of Monkey Paw Studios and Blumhouse Studios. You all know who Blumhouse Studios is, and you might know what Monkey Paw Studio is. They worked on films like The Conjuring. Well, Blumhouse Studio works on The Conjuring, but Monkey Paw is Jordan Peele's studio, and he worked on the Get Out movie, which was also helped by Jason. Now back to Ron Starkworth. Ron Starkworth, back in the 70s, did a mission from the police department, an investigation on the events involving the Ku Klux Klan. I'm going to basically click off my screen real quick. So we're about to talk about the character himself, Ron Starkworth. He's basically an upcoming detective and who just got appointed to his new job. Well, he was a detective, Ron Starkworth, and he was the one who a black detective that managed to infiltrate the Ku Klux Klan. I'll get into the story about the characters later on. And so that's what he was known for. He even, I think, had a book on it about what he did. He was able to infiltrate the Ku Klux Klan. There was rumors that the Ku Klux Klan was plotting terrorist attacks against the African American community and other people, even white people. And they had to infiltrate to show the world that the Ku Klux Klan was nothing more than a domestic terrorist group that uses racism and other methods to cause a lot of trouble. And that was what that detective was famous for. And he decided to talk about his venture into infiltrating the Klan. And finally, after years, he's finally managed to get his story out thanks to people like Spike Lee and Jordan Peele. I want to see who's in the chat room now or who's speaking. Casmil Baker. I actually got plenty of backup channels One of them is called J-Dog Speaks. Another one is called J-Dog Talks. And another one is called The Voice of J-Dog. And then, of course, J-Dog Live is my backup channel. If you want to, just type them up on YouTube. Look for, you should be able to look for a silver yellow car. Another one, look for a microphone, computer microphone. Or look up more art of Black Panther. And, well, I mean, just type them up and you should see them if you can find them. I might leave a link to them later if you want to subscribe to them. But anyway, so basically, the movie is about Ron Starkworth. Now the next thing I'm going to do is going to get into the characters. But before I do you have anything to say about the biography, short biography that I just gave, Nicole?
Yeah, sure. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, I can hear you very clear.
Okay, good. Um, Thank you for having this hangout. Thank you for having me again, as usual.
You're welcome.
Great subjects. I didn't know much about the character Ron Stallworth, but just from watching the movie, especially in the beginning, it just seemed like he was very good at compartmentalizing a lot of things. Um, I don't know, we don't know much about his personal life, but he really, I mean, this is based on a true story. He did a bang up job on keeping everything professional and playing this character that he created. Well, he made a boo boo by saying that it was him. You know, he made a mistake. Could be a fatal error in saying that the person he's pretending to be has his name, but everything else besides that, I think, was good, um, in terms of investigating the story and sticking to what it is he wanted to do, which is to bring down the KKK. Very honorable task to want to work on. But yeah, we'll get into everything else later on.
All right. So let's start by talking about the different characters and the actors who played them. Well, basically, we just talked about the main character, Ron Starkworth. Of course, he was the guy who infiltrated the Ku Klux Klan. So basically, first at the beginning of the movie, you saw basically this PSA um that was created by the Ku Klux Klan, and Alec Baldwin. He only had a short part in the movie. He played this racist spokesman of the KKK who was angry about the result of the Brown versus the Board of Education. They don't name the case, but he knew that when that decision was made, it was the start of integration. You see, there was a lot of racists, a lot of white people who were against people being in the schools together because of race and religion and orientation and stuff like that. The Klan did not like anyone who was non-white, non-Christian, non-straight. And now they didn't care about what politics you were, but they did not like anyone who was non-white, in particularly anyone that was non-white. They didn't like anyone who was non-Christian, anyone who was non-straight, and the Brown versus Board of Education case was, they thought, was a blow against them. But anyway, we see in the beginning when it comes to Ron Starkworth, he's just starting up as a rookie cop. He's the first cop in the state of Colorado and Colorado Springs in the state of Colorado to ever be employed as a cop over at that police station, and he was immediately sent to just do records and stuff like that. And he kind of didn't like that part of the job, especially when he had to deal with this racist cop. I forgot what the actor is, but he's actually played in a couple shows that I've known. Um, um, but I was learning a lot of stuff, like some of the names, like Toad or whatsoever. I found out that that was a racial slur that they did against black criminals or black people in general that were put on the police records, and he didn't like that. So he wanted them. He wanted, even though they were criminals, he wanted them to be called by the names, respectfully by the names, not just by some kind of alienness or animal or whatsoever. That's why he wanted to transfer and become a detective. So, what do you think about that, Nicole?
Well, you touched on two good points. The first point, and this is just Spike Lee's, I guess, his flavor, his style. You know, he has creative freedom to do whatever he wants to do. But I noticed um, in a lot of his work, he goes like it's redundancy. He gets you with redundancy, and a lot of times when you watch these artistic movies, I saw one last night, and they get you with the redundancy. Like they keep honing in on a certain message. So in the beginning with Alec Baldwin's scene, I think that's what they did there. Like he was going on and on. He might as well just sat there for the whole time, just said, "I'm a racist, I'm a racist, I'm a racist." Like he might as well just did that because that's what it was he was saying. And what I also heard from the beginning part was when Alec Baldwin was talking was these were the good old days. These were the 50s. You know, what happened to the good old days? That's what I was hearing from from him. And you had, what was the other? There was yeah, Brown versus the Board of Education, Topeka, Kansas. And you had the what was it? In Kansas they had what, 9 students that went to school to start integrating the schools or desegregating the schools.
You talk
You
about
also
the
had a lot of hmm?
you talk about the Little Rock Nine.
Little Rock. Was it Arkansas, not Kansas, Arkansas.
Yes.
So you had that. You had miscegenation laws being changed. You had a lot of black people who had businesses. This is coming after, um, well, not after, but well, yeah, kind of after Jim Crow was big, after Reconstruction at least, leading up to civil rights movement. And he's showing you on that beginning, I guess, snippet with Alec Baldwin that you had Birth of a Nation featured. You have a movie within a movie, right?
Yes.
So you had the Birth of a Nation, which was the first movie, first motion picture, and he's going on about how glorious this movie is and all that. And the movie comes back again. You remember?
Yep.
So that they really hone in on that. And if you watch that part of the movie with Alec Baldwin's character, he's only there at one time. The use of the light, because they're in like a theater, the use of the light, the fact that he can't remember his lines makes you
Yeah.
feel like, does he even believe what he's saying? You know what he's saying right now,
I know.
right?
Yeah.
It makes you feel like, is this a joke or something? Like it's crazy. And then the second part you talked about was, oh yeah, at the beginning, the nicknames. So they had the nicknames where Stallworth was going to be working in the records department, basically just some busy work, and he didn't feel like he was really doing cop work because in the interview, the first scene after the whole vignette with Alec Baldwin was the interview scene, really. You know, what's his name? I can forget his first name. I want to say Mr. Washington. I don't remember his first name.
John
Then
David.
spells John David. Okay, so he pats his fro. He comes up the steps like, yeah. So brother number one, he comes up the steps, goes in for his interview, and they just hire him, but they give him like these scrutinizing questions and stuff. He answers them, and I'm thinking, oh, he's gonna be right on the street or he's gonna be doing some real cop work. And no, they basically let him know like you need to work your way up. And from then, like, you know, we know what happened, but yeah, he had to he realized like this is not for me. This records department is not the business because they're sitting here. He called him a toad at some point,
Yes, the
and I
race.
didn't even know that was a racial slur. I
Yep.
didn't even know that was a racial slur. I mean, that's why I think it's important for our parents and grandparents, and then soon to be us, to tell our children and grandchildren like what
And great
derogatory
grand.
words are out there against us,
Yes.
to be prepared for it.
You won't believe what words are derogatory because they could be just normal words like animal or and like a monkey or a toad, which are animals for the like
Hmm.
animals. But then when you actually look up more and compare it to black people or any other race, you will know that there may be some positive, but also, or even worse, some negative situation with that name.
Hmm.
And most of the time, it's negative. So,
Right.
yes. Now, his first case wasn't even the Ku Klux Klan. His first case was to infiltrate the Black Panthers, not the Klan. You see, there was this public speaker by the name of Stoley Carmichael, and he's actually a real life person too. We're about to get on this character right now because I'm about to share that screen, some screens real quick. Now, first, oops, sorry about that. Oh, matter of fact, I'm already sharing the screen. All right, but right here, let's share this one particular. Now, the person on the left is an actor who plays the character of Stoley Carmichael or Kwame Terrain. Corey Hawkins. You may also know him from films like Kong Skull Island and his most successful film, Straight Outta Compton, where he portrayed another portrayal of another known figure in history, the rapper and music producer Dr. Dre. That, of course, Straight Outta Compton was the story of the group NWA as well as the members themselves and their solo acts. This time, he's playing a Black Panther and speaker by the name of Stoley Carmichael, who also changes his name to Kwame Terrain. Now, why did he change his name from Starley Carmichael to Kareem Terrain? I think it has something to do with a trip to Africa, and I believe, trying to get into his heritage. What do you say about that, Nicole?
Yeah. So you're right. He went from Stokely Carmichael to Kwame Ture, and his level of consciousness went up. He went to Africa for a trip, but he was able to communicate with a lot of people there. He started making a lot of connections and associating a lot of this information. Um, I don't know for sure if his message really changed. I guess you have to look at a lot of his works before and after, but the way he wanted to apply his message may have shifted a bit. Because for you to go so far as to change your name, legally, and if you notice in the movie, a lot of the Caucasian officers were still calling him Stokely Carmichael. Even he was Stallworth's character was like, hey, he goes by Kwame Ture now, not Stokely Carmichael. He looks silly saying it. When the young lady with the glasses, the president of the Black Student Union, was like, um, she said, "Oh, you mean Brother Ture?" He was like, "Who?" So yeah, but I think that he did change his name after coming back from Africa, and he felt like he needed to do more once he came back. Of course, he had more motivation to do more.
Yes, I heard. Um, yes. Hey, sorry about that. I was just cause someone just said that Town Business posted another video. I'm still trying to get in contact with him so he can join in. But anyway, now let's go back to the thing. His actual speech. Um, the scene talks about him. He's talking about his speech. Um, he talked about how about what we have to do, that we have to prepare to fight back. And then he also talked about when he was watching the movie Tarzan, when he saw that Tarzan was fighting the natives, and he was actually cheering for Tarzan, only to find out that the bad guys looked like him. And he's saying, you're telling them to fight those guys, but these guys look like you. And I guess that shows how the media manipulates people's minds. And then now Starley Carmichael says he will cheer on for the savages, even if they're the bad guys, because they remind him of his African heritage and because they remind him of what he looks like. Now, also in the speech, you would notice that whoever was doing the cinematography or the camera work, you would notice that they kept showing images of all different Black people who happened to be watching the speech with the froze, and it happened to be different Black people from different perspectives of the diaspora, whether they be dark skin, light skin, whether it be Black American whatsoever, because there probably were some Black immigrants there, and stuff like that, who believe in the cause. And even though they don't mention that, but yeah, that was something I wanted to notice during the speech of Starley Carmichael, and that entire scene in general. What do you have to say about that?
Yeah, I agree. That was a really powerful scene because I didn't expect the actor portraying Kwame Ture to put so much fire behind the words, because these are words coming off paper, and he really fulfilled the scene for younger people. That was important. But yeah, I agree with the images of the Black people with the Black background. It's very artistic the way he set it up, and it reminded me, excuse me, my allergies. Um, it just reminded me of certain parts of books, or like you could screenshot some of those images of the people that were looking up. They're all looking up. Their eyes were watching God. That's what I was thinking of. But they were all looking up and looking hopeful and determined, to really soak in what he was saying. But you could screenshot those images and that would be a piece of artwork, in my opinion.
Yes.
But so it was great how that was shot.
Now, unfortunately, when Ron Starworth was there, he was only there because he was forced by the cop to investigate, because the cop says he doesn't want the people to be riled up the so-called good Black folk. Now we know what that means. He does not want people, Black people, to rise up against the government or whatever. They does not want no uprisings against racism. And when he means by when a racist means by good Black folk, I'm not saying that chief was racist, but when you say a good Black folk, that's the term for Black folk that will listen to white daddy and white mommy, or will not rise against the system and stuff. That's what they mean by good Black folk.
Right. I didn't even know that Black people would be a threat in Colorado Springs. I didn't even know they had that many Black people in Colorado Springs. Maybe back then there were more Black people. I have to look at the numbers, but yeah, I was like, wow, they're really paranoid.
Yes, but that's what happens when you have things like Quick Tell, Quote Tell Pro and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
They
Oh
want
yeah.
to infiltrate. See, they weren't too worried about infiltrating these racist groups until people like Ron Stallworth decided to get involved. But they were very worried about the Black Panthers and other Black civil rights groups and Black groups in general. Even if they were trying to do what's right, even if they were trying to clean up the community, they had to be watched heavy than KKK who was actually out there actually killing people. If the Black Panthers were going to fight, it was because they were trying to defend themselves and their community.
Right, I agree.
Now, let's see. Let's get on to the Ron Starworth meeting the character um Patrice. Now, she was portrayed by actress Laura Harrer. Have you seen the recent Spider-Man Homecoming? Because she was the one who played a known comic book character named Liz Allen.
No, I haven't seen that yet.
Yeah. But now she plays and like you said, she was the president at that what I think was at university, um, which was focused on Black studies and stuff.
Yeah, she was the president of the Black Student Union.
Yes, yeah, okay, yeah, thank you.
That was
Yes,
intel he should have had. He should have, yeah, he should have got before he came, because he just happened to see her in the line and started trying to, spit game at her, and
yeah,
realized that she just said, I'm the president of the Black Student Union. He was like, oh, really? Oh, awkward, pretty awkward moment. But yeah, they didn't seem to be afraid of her specifically. They were, I mean, I'm talking about the white police officers and everyone in that town who was white, apparently. They weren't afraid of her by herself. They were afraid of the Black Student Union as a group. That's what I noticed.
yes. You see, when many of us start going into groups, especially if we're out to fight against someone who is trying to attack our community, a lot of these white racists or any other racists or even people criminals within our own community seem to run away and stuff like that, but because we're not as soft a target when we're together, or if we're tough enough to stand on our own. That's why these racist groups, they mainly either attacking groups as well, or they go after softer targets, anyone they know they will not be able to fight back. Or they have to have some kind of power, like be a cop or something. Because if it was just them on their own, they would have had their butts handed to them. That's what they fear about the Black community, is when we're together. That's why they've done everything to keep us apart, or to have, sellouts and traitors infiltrate and stuff like that to doss out or confuse the community.
I totally agree. That makes perfect sense to me.
Now, let's get on to when he goes back to the oh, by the way, hey, my tribe TV all out attack August stream, welcome as well. If you've seen the movie and want to say something, here's I'm going to here's a link to come in, but only if you've seen the movie. I think I left you an email, my tribe, if you want to come on in. So you can check your email box as well if you want to give your perspective of the movie, but only if you've seen it. I'm only letting people who have seen the movie come on in. Now, there was a conversation between Starworth and some of his other cop buddies. One of them is Adam Driver's character, Flip Zimmerman. We'll talk about more of him later, but he was this Jewish cop. Now, when Ron Starworth was talking to his fellow cops, he noticed the racist cop from earlier was responsible for pulling over Stoneworth and was also messing with the black girl. But did you also notice what they said, that yeah, he's a bit of a jerk, but unfortunately and then Ron Starward was like, "Why didn't you just report him and stuff?" And then the other cops say, only if we can catch him, but also it's because we have to stick together. Do you notice that scene? What that
Yeah,
meant?
because they were like, it's like even it's a family. Even if you do wrong, you still love each other and stand by each other. That theme kept coming up, and I didn't like that.
Yes. In real life, there's this whole code that police officers have called the blue wall of silence,
Exactly.
which is you can't tell anything bad unless, of course, you happen to be lucky to be anonymous and you really want to take that cop down. Otherwise, your fellow officers will try to go after you, not because you did something wrong, but because you try to break the silence. You try to divide the unity of the cops.
Hmm. It's a fraternal order, and within a fraternity or sorority, there's an order to things. There's an order to how things are run. There's a hierarchy. You follow the hierarchy, or else. So,
Yeah,
or else you lose your job, or else you have public shame, or worse. So um, that's why I mean they literally have like the open fraternal order of police, but that's only one side of it because anytime you talk about a fraternity or a secret, it's a secret order, secret group, secret society, however you want to say it. It works in it works in duality. They work two different ways. So one side of the coin is what they show the public. The other side of the coin is what they don't show the public. And what they displayed in that scene is what they do not want to show the public. Is
yeah.
that, yeah, we know it's wrong, but he's our brother. We got to stick with it. We got to stick together, you know.
Now, speaking of Flip, this is the guy who's going to later on be useful. Um, he basically is he's been there in the force for a while, and basically and of course he's played by Adam Driver. You may know him for recently the Star Wars films as Kylo Ren. He's Flip, and he ends up betraying portraying he's plays a cop, because right now what I'm about to talk about is where Ron Starforth contacts the KKK for the first time. Ron Starforth finds out an article with an ad for the chapter at that particular town of the KKK. He calls them and then pretends to be a white person saying that he hates black people and stuff like that. And then, of course, the guy responds on the Klan president. By the way, the actor who betrays the president is kind of very well known himself. His name, the actor is Ryan Eagle, and he plays the president by the name of Felix. Hold on, I think they got the characters wrong, but I can. Oh, Walter. That's right. Yeah, something must have been wrong, but right now he plays Walter Breachway, and he's the that chapter of the KKK's um president presidency. Of course, Ryan, if you've seen the show, the Blacklist, he's a character there. That's what he's known for, and I forgot what other stuff, but yeah. So he pretends to be white, so he managed to get a good conversation, and now he needs to do a in-person meet. So he gets so when the police chief or whoever decides to agree into the case, because he knows that they are planning some activities, he gets they get sent in Flip Zimmerman, which is Adam Driver's character who I just mentioned, to come in, and he's going to portray the white Ron Starforth. But so basically, Flip Zimmerman is a Jewish cop, but now, and you see, even though he's a white person, because he's a Jew, he's not allowed to be in the Klan because the KKK believed in Christianity more than any other religion, and they believed that the Jews were a problem, even if they were white. So, because of so-called the original people, the Hebrews and stuff like that, and they were inferior according to the Aryans, if they exist. But so Flip Zimmerman, he's a Jewish, but he has to pretend to be a white Christian man because he has to play him so they don't find out that it's actually a black guy who is they're talking to, and he joined some of the meetings and stuff. And going back to the cast, you see that there was a bunch of guys. This one played by actor Jasper. I can't really pronounce his last name. He played a character. He was the one that was called Felix. He was like the muscle of the chapter. So he Felix Kendrickson. So he was like the team muscle. He was like the second in command, and they meet and they wanted to do like a lie detector test to make sure he wasn't a Jewish man or wasn't being helped by or wasn't friends with anyone black. So basically, that was what the whole case is and stuff. Felix was married to that fat white lady, and I mean, she was completely racist, y'all. Yeah, she was the most annoying character in the film. So basically, they managed to infiltrate things well. Ron Starworth did the calls. Flip plays him, and they get all the intel and stuff like that. And it looks like they were planning on an attack on that president, the female, as well as any other black people that were supposed to be part of an event that was going on.
Did you notice that the white voice came back just like in Sorry to Bother You?
Yes.
It's
Sort
funny
of,
how
but
he,
yeah.
he sounded like his dad. And he was, this is Ron Stallworth and blah, blah, blah. That
Yeah.
was funny. They were like, wait, did you just give your own name out? He was like, oh, shoot. Did you give your real name? So that showed his inexperience with it. But it also showed the department's inexperience with it because they didn't give him any kind of training. A lot of stuff was just off the cuff,
Yes. Wanting to train.
impromptu.
Yeah. Yeah. They were kind
Hmm.
of doing it because they want this guy to fail in some way.
Right.
And also at the same time, Starworth, looks like I got an email from Town Biz. He won't be able to come in today. He has to work.
Hmm.
Well, sorry to hear about that. Um, it's not in the chat room. I get updates of emails on my computer. So anyway, but yeah, you see, at the same time he's doing this job, he also has to think himself as a black man that because the girl he likes, Patrice, does not like cops. Period. No matter
Right.
what, calls them pigs and everything.
Hmm.
And if she were to find out, she may not want to see her because the cops have done so much wrong helping the racist groups. You can't trust no one with a badge, and that's what goes through with today. All the shootings that has happened and stuff, and the is like, and the fact that they are infiltrated heavily by racist groups. How can you trust the cops, even if they look like black people? Because some of these black people act like the house Negroes, the coons and stuff that we hear other people say, because they are willing to go against their own people for a group of other people that don't like them just because they're black. In fact, I got a story, article come up. I want to talk about an article maybe in a later video since we're too focused on this movie review that shows who you're loyal to. It's coming soon. You'll be surprised if I decide to upload it today. But anyway, he has to think about that now. Would you like to say anything about that, Nicole?
Just the fact that I noticed um, there was not like a strong connection between him and Patrice in the movie. It was more like, just about the business of him being a cop. And you're right, she did not like pigs. She asked him, and I saw this as like him, his psyche really being infiltrated by the police department because in the system of that, she asked him several times, "Are you a pig? Are you a pig?" And he was like, "I'm a black man doing my thing." Like I'm a black man and I'm fighting crime. You know what I'm saying? He would get some BS answer, and I'm like, dude, if you don't just tell her the truth, like it's gonna come out. Just get it over with.
And unfortunately, it eventually did.
Yeah, and it got out in the wrong way, and that just destroyed any chance he had with her. I think he, realized that. I wonder if that was even how it was going down in real life. If that was something they just embellished on, or did
Yeah.
it really happen that way? Because I really thought they perhaps had something special, but the fact that she didn't like cops that much, it just made me feel like, okay, they ain't going nowhere.
No, it was not going to happen. Now,
Hmm.
next, we want to get into another character, David Duke. First, let's share my screen a bit because we're now going to talk about this guy. If you want to know the evilness of the KKK, look further than this man right here. First, I'm going to show you a couple of pictures. The picture you're looking at is the real life David Duke of today. This is what he kind of looks like today. The real man himself. Matter of fact, he actually talked about this movie. He was very concerned about this movie, his portrayal, because he didn't want to look like an idiot. Well, he is an idiot. All right. The KKK,
Exactly.
not to mention, he talked to this guy and still didn't know he was talking to a black person. Now, the next I'm going to show you is this actor right here. This is Trophy Grace. Now, if you've seen his in Spider-Man, if you've seen movies like Spider-Man 3, which was the first time we ever got to see Venom in live action, or the television series That 70s Show, this is this is the actor who was in those projects. This guy right here, well, actually, this is the same person. This is him in his role as David Duke. This is what he wore. David Duke. And then once again, this is the real David Duke, a younger David Duke. So basically, he was on the phone. He was trying to help them get the membership and everything. He said that he could tell what's the difference between a white and a black person because he thinks that black people talk like all kind of slang and jive talking and stuff like that. How typical racists will act. You don't know the person. You only judge them by the color of their skin and stuff like that. So he was about to be part of a meeting. At the same time, there were some of the Klan members were going to use it as a front to go after the um, the the Black Student Union. Well, first of all, hey King Maya of Belize, nice for you to come on over to the chat room. I was wondering, did they show Blackkklansman movie Where You Live. Um, but anyway, you notice that they had two different meetings. They had the initiation meeting with David Duke, and then they had the Black Gathering, and then you even had Belafonte. He was like on the chair that looks like the chair of Huey P. Newton's chair. You know,
Right.
he was big,
Hmm.
important figure of the Black Panthers. But yet Ron Starworth was forced to go and protect the Klan's member. They didn't know that he's Ron Starworth, and the guy that the white person that they were meeting was Flip Zimmerman. But anyway, you would notice the difference in the meetings. The biggest, heaviest was Belafonte. His when he was talking about what happened to a friend of his being tortured, and then they talked about the Birth of a Nation movie. You would notice that this person was accused of a crime, and when that black person was found guilty, the white people just tortured that guy. And I think it was supposed to be based on a real case. And they said that they got the idea or the mindset when they saw the Birth of a Nation, where they showed basically black people being rapists and stuff, and how it was even showed at the White House by when Woodrow Wilson was president. And the fact that that movie was able to make a lot of money shows the evil racism in this country. Meanwhile, some of the Klan members were going to try to put an attack, and even try to get the wife to put an attack on the student union president with the bomb, and that's when he left the meeting to go stop the bomb from being from killing the woman. What do you have to say about this?
Yeah, this it was a lot. You're right. There were two meetings occurring. One with the racists and one with those who wanted to defend themselves righteously. With Harry Belafonte, and I saw even within the racist meeting, you had two meetings because Starworth was not allowed to be at the second part of it where they saw the movie. But just watching that movie was a ritual for them. And what I saw was two different groups of people, one with Harry Belafonte and the other with the racist, David Duke, but one where the people have been carrying out this ritual, this tradition for hundreds of years, and the other one where the tradition needs to start, the oral tradition that Harry Belafonte was talking about, the story he was talking about, that type of thing needs to be more common. We need to see more of that. I think that was the message I took from that scene. With those two groups of people, like we need to see more of the griot, the oral tradition. We need to listen to our elders more, understand their plight, understand where they're coming from. On the other side, with the racists, they were there all ages, pretty much, all there, mostly married, but ready to go, ready to exact their racism on society, and that was a ritual. And the reason why it was so detailed, and they may have taken details out, but the reason it was so detailed is because Starworth, he snuck one of the cooks like $10 or something, so he can get upstairs and look over and see them in there, doing this ritual. So that's probably the only reason why he was able to recount the ritual, write it down, document it. But yeah, it was a really heavy. There's a lot of heavy scenes in this movie, but that was one of the main scenes I saw that was pretty heavy.
Yes. Now, eventually, Ron Starworth was able to protect the girl, and the car ends up blowing up, hurting the woman, the white woman, and even killing the Klansman. And then, of course, Ron Starworth made one last phone call to David Duke, and that's when Ron Star revealed everything, and then David Duke just looked stupid. And then also, when they were at the restaurant, that racist cop once again showed up, but this time they had a wire, and they were willing to find a way to take him down. So the next thing I
Yeah.
want, yeah,
Yeah, he finally got his just desserts with the girl there. He's trying to flirt with her and everything and got set up. That was pretty funny.
yes. Now at the end, you saw that David Duke ordered a cross burning with the guys by the Klan, and then you saw, that typical, the camera shoots where he looks like he going straight forward and stuff like that, and you saw that they both had their guns, so they were ready to fight off. But then it cuts to the Charlottesville riots, and then the president's speech. So they showed this like everything has not changed. Everything is almost the same as in the past. I also found out that when the credits opened, the song that was played was a Prince song that was never released.
Wait, you saying the opening credits?
The ending
Oh,
credits.
the ending. Oh, I didn't even know that.
Yes.
Hmm.
But yes, they showed everything that happened at Charlottesville,
Right.
and they showed how the president was, because you saw at the in one scene there was like David Duke is running for office and stuff like that, and it's like, what next? They're gonna have him try to look for president? There's no way they're going. Ron Stewart was kind of blind and was like, there's no
Right.
way they're gonna elect anyone like David Duke. Unfortunately, look who we have. We have Donald Trump. His father was in the Klan. He may not have joined the Klan. His father was in the Klan, but still, he acts like a racist. And
Yeah, the
they've had,
same theme. Yeah, I see. Yeah, I see what you mean by that.
and you saw when they said things like "Great America, Great Again," "America First," and stuff like that. These were all dog whistles and racist quotes and stuff like that you hear even today.
Hmm.
Those
Yeah, and
memes,
it's not new. They've been going around for a long time. Those types of quotes, "Making America First" and all that, because I mean, a lot of jobs have gone to China way before Donald Trump came along to be president. Um, but I looked at it like, what happens that scene where they're moving forward. He does that scene all the time, but where they're on a track and it's pulling them forward,
yeah,
and it's just really it's kind of creepy if you do it with certain music or lighting, but it can also be inspiring. He did it with Malcolm X. He did it in Crooklyn. Um, I think he's done it in every movie, if I'm not mistaken. But
yeah. I think I've
um,
seen Brooklyn.
yeah, so in Crooklyn he does it at the end of the movie. It's always the end of the movie. But one thing I noticed is when he was in the hallway talking to that white officer with the glasses, and he said, "Well, what are they gonna do next? They're gonna elect David Duke as the president. Please, come on." And he said, "You need to wake up." He was like, "Are what's wrong with you? You need to wake up because like you don't get it." And that's a theme that's in a lot of Spike Lee's movies too. School Days. You have Lawrence Fishburne screaming out at the top of his lungs, "Wake up!" He's "Wake up!" And he's going like that. He's going to every corner of the campus screaming, "Wake up!" And that was like a quiet type of way of saying it. Where the white guy is saying, you need to open your eyes. You need to wake up. Telling the audience, giving the audience the message. So I got that. We picked up on that. But it was real quick. He had a lot of quick little messages. I wish he had Keenan Ivory Wayans come in there. Message, like every few minutes, message. Because I don't think people really get it. A lot of us are younger people, people even younger than us. have such a short attention span, they may have fallen asleep in the movie. It was sad. We were sitting there in the theater, and there were a few people that were walking out. I was like, wow. I'm thinking, these are our people walking out.
Yeah.
And so I was like, did they not get the message? And they left during a time where it wasn't like the credits were about to start rolling or the movie starting to, wind down. You can kind of tell when it's about to end. No, it was like three-fourths into the movie before a lot of things popped off, and they were just leaving. So I didn't understand that. But overall, I mean, it was a great film.
Yep. All right. I think that's all I have to say about the movie. Do you have any final thoughts?
Um, Nothing much. Thank you for having me on the hangout. I had a good time. It was great. And everybody in the chat, hey, how you doing? You can subscribe, please do so. Everybody's channel, and that'll be great. Thank you.
August. Oh, he also did that on Get on the Bus. I was just talking to
Yeah.
August, but yeah, yeah. Well, that's all I have to say. First of all, thank you for those who are in the chat room, and for you, Nicole, for coming on. Hopefully, you enjoyed the spoiler review. Now, if you decided that if you haven't seen the movie and decided you would just be spoiled anyway, I still recommend you go see this movie. It's a good movie, and you can learn something from this movie. Hopefully, you stay and watch the whole movie. Um, but that's all I have to say. I hope to do more live streams in the future. I'll probably make a couple announcements on maybe some upcoming live streams that I might do on here and maybe on my other live stream channel, But like I said, thank you for coming. Well, thank you for enjoying this live stream. I'm about to head out. Thank y'all for your time, and I hope to catch y'all in another video or stream. Peace, everyone, and enjoy your evening.
All right. Peace, J Dog. Peace, everybody.
All right.